You know, maybe you're the kind of person who said to his or herself, "Core blimey, book cart drill teams, I could do that." Well, that's cool, while you walk around with a terrible Cockney accent, is anyone's guess, but maybe you could have a book cart drill team. Why not? But you can't just jump into it blind. This kind of dedication demands a certain level of commitment on the contestants' parts. So as such, here are some useful tips and points on how to enter a book cart drill team and win. Now, each year at the annual ALA conference, librarians from systems all over the country meet to perform elaborate drill team rituals, like so, in the splendor of a conference center dome. The costumes and the pageantry are all well and good, but there's more to it than just a team pushing a cart. First up, the MCs of the event. Now, I know you've probably read their books, but Mo Willems and John Cheska are particularly impressive when you see them prance about in person. So here they are, two blokes with the ability to riff.
Third annual Demco Library Cart Thingy. Demco. Say Demco, please. 1, 2, 3. Demco. That's beautiful. We have some wonderful teams coming up this year. We've been backstage, we've been talking to them, they've been practicing. Obviously, the elephant in the room, in the last year, a lot of steroid scandals in the library cards. Terrible thing. Just when you thought it couldn't happen. That's right. Teams bulking up and... We're not actually accusing any individual team. We're just saying, look around and see if some people are bigger than they were last year. Or eating library cards. Yes. So that's something I want to watch out. So for this year, if the team is caught doing drug testing, and by the way, the drug testing will be multiple choice, not as hard as previous years, then the second team will have to take those very same drugs.
This particular year, we were in Chicago, and if you've ever been near Millennium Park, then you know that Segways are a sort of an unofficial mascot of the Windy City. So it would have been inevitable a book cart versus Segway race.
Ground fair play. We're going to do a little test, a little race. Segway versus the children's book author and illustrator. Who says Segway? Who says John Cheska pushing me? Get set.
Song choice. Over the years, the various obvious choices have already been taken. I Want to Be a Librarian, that Bjork song with the chorus that goes shush shush. It's all so quiet, I don't know. You can thematically tie in your song to librarianship in some way, but do it with the original song and all power to you. This year, the best song was actually that of the first team, heard here. If you can't make it out, and there's no reason why you should, it's a horrible recording, that's the recentish remix of Elvis's A Little Less Conversation, A Little More Action. A secret weapon. Something an audience won't think to expect. Last year, it was dry ice. The year before that, the performers turned their carts into miniature airplanes. This year, it was headlights. I don't recall seeing them in use before, but it was well done. And then there's costumes and the sexy factor. Now, in the past, we've seen some pretty fabulous costumes. Mad scientists, crazy people with ties, Rosie the Riveters, Hawaiian people. But inevitably, it all comes down sometimes to the sexy factor, as I like to call it, the moment when librarians actually strip in some way or try to shock the audience. This year was not so bad. We've seen worse in the past, but in this particular case, the Vikings were the ones who decided to upset the sexy factor with their breastplates, like so. routine. There are a couple ways you can go with this. The book cart equivalent of a kick line, for example, is when you do a Busby Berkeley turn, like so. Always gets the applause. Complicated inning and outing is also welcome. Sometimes teams actually learn dances, rendering the book carts on their sides moot. That's fine and all, but it's nicer when they can integrate them with the dance. Otherwise, you're not really a drill team now, are you? These people are. You can see they've integrated it very nicely. Having the plot is also fun, but it's very hard. It would be nice if it was filmed and projected on a big screen for one and all to see, but since it's not, you have to be broad in your moves. This is sad but true. Props. Always a good idea. Now you can hide the props by putting them in the center of your cart and then covering them up with the sides of a flag, or you can just have them sitting on top, like so. Humor. Because you're working in such a huge space, your humor is going to have to be visible to all sides. For example, note the Delaware team here, producing a Delaware song, regional music, always welcome, I should add. They revealed in the middle of it a cutout of Vice President Biden. Now they had counted for the fact that folks in front and behind the sign would want to see him. What they failed to note was that people on the sides wouldn't get a glimpse of what he was. Seen here, I was stumped until the end, which is a pity because I think it was kind of a cool idea. Also, the more and flamboyant the humor, the better. This is why John and Mo are the best MCs, by the way. Now, in the case of this team, it was just your standard book cart drill, but with the extra added craziness of a Dutch guy running hell for leather around the room. That's entertainment. Finally, and most importantly, be ready for a huge audience. Because if there's one thing ALA attendees like, it's a good book cart drill team.